Oh, man, that brings back some memories for this man right here. Paul Vaden is with us this morning, everybody. And first of all, Paul, it is great to see you, man.
Absolutely awesome being here.
Thank you so much. Paul is a former IBF boxing champion and fought in the, the middleweight?
Junior middleweight.
Junior middleweight division, which meant how much did you weigh back then?
154 pounds.
Okay.
And I would have to come down always from 185 to 190 pounds. So I was such big.
And so, again, I always like to mention that from San Diego, born in San Diego, raised here, Jackie Robinson, YMCA, and a guy who is the only world boxing champion ever who is a native San Diegan.
To this day, still, first and only.
Okay, right on.
Yes.
And a brand new book out called Answer the Bell. Talk to us. Let's hear about the book.
Answer the Bell was something that actually was consumed in 2006 when I was going through just some struggles in life.
What was going on?
Well, I was going through a divorce, about to start that, and just the prospects of what I wanted to do as far as from a business standpoint and just change. So Answer the Bell was something that I would wake up to, and it kind of created itself, so to speak. And I tell you, as I start to delve more into my inventory of what I had going on in my life, it was very, very therapeutic because obviously I also had situations where I really had to answer the bell as far as the beginning of my career, but also what created my exit as a boxer.
Well, you're using Answer the Bell as this metaphor for life. Mm-hmm. And for those of you that perhaps don't know the career of Paul Vaden, I will tell you that what ended Paul's career, let's talk about it for a minute, is Paul's in a boxing match with a guy, and when the match is over, you won the match, but the guy who you beat actually died.
He, very competitive match, and I knocked him out in the 10th round, and he would never regain consciousness and would die 15 days later. Anyone who knows me, one of the boxing pundits would always state that I had this, I was too nice for boxing, smiled a lot and all this other stuff. And so if anything that was going to create my exit once again, it would be something like that. I boxed for the artistry and the science behind boxing, the stamina level where you can go, and nothing along those lines of the episodes that I was enduring.
So this guy dies in this boxing match, and again, you've got to answer the bell. I mean, I'm using your term here to get on with your life, right? I mean, when you think of most boxers after boxing, you don't hear from these guys. They don't go on to have professional lives. A lot of these guys don't really have much else going on.
Right.
You had to kind of pick yourself up and go from boxer to husband and father and business guy, right?
And just so I like to let people know, I was emotionally washed ashore from that standpoint. I was wobbled, and
because you killed a man.
Because of basically what happened and what transpired. I mean, it really shook me up. So I was scared to live, and was questioning if I was going to continue to live. Here, my boy was about to turn 3 years old, so each time I'd have this traditional prayer because I wanted to make sure that I'd be able to see him the next day, and if something was going to happen to me, I didn't want it to happen while I have a baby in a stroller. You know, if it's going to happen, let it happen when I'm by myself.
So you were having a lot of emotional issues, obviously. Mm-hmm. I mean, confronting death and dealing with all that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And so all these years later, though, you write this book, Answer the Bell, and tell me this, who should be reading this and what will they get from it?
People who are goal-oriented, people who are dealing through struggles, which is in some shape or form, I think none of us are immune to having to answer the bell. We all have some area in our life where we can improve or want to go to that next level. I always say the highest level is thriller. And
the highest level is thriller. Can I just jump in? You got to understand, and Paul's told me this story a million times, his two greatest influences in life were Muhammad Ali, who he shaped his boxing career after, and as a performer in the ring, Michael Jackson.
Absolutely.
Just explain those two guys.
The energies that they both created. Muhammad Ali, just because of his boxing, I'm about to start dancing. His boxing career, what he was able to display, but also the love that he rendered to the world and how you can go to all over, everyone would know. He was global. Michael Jackson, just because
Is this your tune, dude? I mean, you're getting distracted. Turn it up in the studio here.
Michael Jackson, just here's this guy, you see this figure, and this skinny guy, but once he hit that stage, something came over him that was, it's indescribable.
But yet here you were, a guy who had these heroes, Muhammad Ali and Michael Jackson, and you elevated yourself all the way to world champion.
Absolutely.
And yet you found yourself, down real low at that point, and you've had to rebuild yourself. And I know for me, when I read parts of this book, it hits so home for me. Because I've had some great highs, thankfully, and I've had some really tragic lows.
Absolutely.
And you got no choice. You've got to answer the bell.
I have to answer the bell. I also, if I consider who I say, Paul the Ultimate Vaden, I didn't want, it was so important that I didn't have people saying, oh, it's a shame what happened to him, in the situation in that fight. So that made me go back in there and work even harder, just like in a fight.
Absolutely. And it's a great story. It's an inspirational story. The book is called Answer the Bell, available in bookstores and
Amazon,
online.
Barnes & Noble, and selected bookstores.
And is it doing well?
Doing very well,
Really?
very well, specifically like in the UK, and which is very cool because, once again, like the King of Pop and like Ali, it's global, so I like that.
Well, congratulations, Paul.
Thank you so much.
I think it's a
Thank
great
you for
story.
having
I think
me,
it's
too.
absolutely phenomenal.
Appreciate it.
Wish you the best of luck.
Thank
And
you
it's
so
always
much.
great to
All
see
right,
you,
Cap.
brother.
All right,
on.
brother.